Being a football fan is a roller coaster ride of emotions, but we wouldn't have it any other way. There's nothing like it. Sky Bet is not for everyone. It's for the fans. 18 plus, T's and C's apply. GambleAware.org. Let's just look at Liverpool versus Arsenal. This is going to be absolutely massive because obviously both sides have started off with perfect performances. Let's just talk about Arsenal because we've not done that so far. 5-0 win against Leeds United. A brace for Viktor Gyökeres. What did you make of Gyökeres against Leeds United?
Flat chat bucket bully, isn't he? He can do it against weak opposition, but can he do it against... That was the question.
Is that what you need? Is that what they needed, though? You can't always sign Erling Haaland. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes you might just need a striker that gets 15 goals a season.
It was a gamble. The question about Gyökeres coming in is whether or not he can do it in the Premier League. Was it 97 goals in 102 games? You can't argue with that. But do you remember Jardel?
Yeah.
Do you remember Mario Jardel? I think it was Mario.
Yeah.
He scored like 500 goals in 300 games. He came to Bolton and he was just an overweight, useless. So Gyökeres is a different beast. They're paid relatively decent price, you would say.
Yep.
The question is whether or not, the amount of goals that came in the lower half of Portugal, I heard that aimed at him.
Yeah,
and
lots of penalties as well.
Penalties and
He
stuff.
scored against Leeds.
Then Kane scored a lot of penalties as well, to be fair. So the question is there, right? It doesn't the fact that he scored 2 goals against Leeds, who were just terrible, doesn't really answer the question. So my biased sort of bitter Spurs hat, I would say that we don't know anything more about Gyökeres after that Leeds game.
I think that's a bit unfair. I think
probably is unfair.
We've not learnt masses. He's not climbed Mount Everest. He's probably climbed Ben Nevis in terms of the comparison because Leeds United there's not much of a mount to kind of go over. But ultimately a brace. Ultimately not a goalless couple of weeks. He has scored now 2 in 2. Whatever you say about that, we can debate. Against Liverpool, if he finds a little moment in the box, 1-on-1, he's got that pace that particularly, obviously the first goal before the penalty, he is taking Premier League defenders on, right back, centre backs on.
They're not Premier League defenders, are they?
They're Championship, of course, but they're still in this division. He's doing it at the Emirates. He's carrying the ball 40 yards. He looked like he had a good amount of pace.
Yeah, in the Championship. If he was doing that in the Championship,
I'm just being devil's advocate.
Yeah, well, don't be.
He missed an open net in the first half. Basically,
That's
it bounced to him, and he looked like an absolute bit of a clown. But in the second half, he gets himself. He grabs himself by the scruff of the neck, and he scores a brace. I mean, you can't really say that's too bad.
What can you ask him? He's a striker. He scored 2 goals in the Premier League. That he can't do any more than that. And
you're not impressed with everything else, then? That's what you're saying. It's a minimal performance.
I was really impressed with him in Portugal, and I'm really worried that he's going to be good. And so I'm sort of really just holding on to these.
You're downplaying him.
Yeah, I'm downplaying him just because if he's good, then Arsenal fans get everything they want.
Yeah.
I just don't want anyone watching this to give him credit at this stage before he's earned it. Okay,
I get that.
But it's going to be crucial that he's playing well against Liverpool, and there'll be opportunities to score against Liverpool defensively. 100%. It's going to be a great game.
Yeah, it'll be a classic. And you are looking at, Liverpool have had poor form, and if you think other sides have had poor form and they still get wins. Arsenal in this kind of game, if anything goes wrong, particularly with the Saka going into the game with a Saka injury, you would be hoping they don't aim for a draw. They try and open it up and try and beat Liverpool. I think, look, Liverpool are the champions of England. You have to go away from home and not be streetwise, not try and nick a draw here and there. Beat Liverpool. Mancini had to go to Old Trafford and beat Sir Alex Ferguson. You have to go to Stamford Bridge and beat Jose Mourinho at Stamford Bridge if you want to take it off of him in history of the Premier League. You have to go to Anfield and beat Liverpool, in my honest opinion.
And that's been the criticism of Arteta through the years, is that he's just not aggressive enough away from home in those clutch games. But it's such early doors. He should go out and really go for Liverpool. And I think, look, Liverpool's firepower is not going to be an issue. Their defence is, and there's an opportunity for Arsenal to exploit that. Arsenal's defence is not a problem at all. It's one of the strongest parts of what they do.
Yeah.
So I guess the question is whether without Saka can they still penetrate? And the probably answer is yes. I think when you saw Saka and Odegaard go off at the weekend, that the performance went up. They got sort of better. Max, they got this crazy talent. Oh, mate, I was sitting there and going, we could be listening to this kid for 10 years about how incredible he is.
15 years.
50 could be 15 years. It could be 15 years of him just dominating the Arsenal attack, and I'm just sitting.
And even when Ranieri came on.
Ranieri's class as well. So this is the thing, is that they got these young players that are just so good, and I'm thinking, and I remember when they had Henry, right? And I'm thinking one day Henry won't be there, and I'll just hold on to that moment. One day Wenger won't be there, that Arsenal will be average again, and then just producing this kid, like,
it's scary.
It is scary. It is scary. But what I would say is 15, so you know,
There's a
maybe
limit to what you can do.
He
man.
might drop off. He might not be that good, but he looks scary good.
The way he won that penalty, the way he was running at the Leeds defence, won the penalty. I thought that he could have taken the penalty.
Yeah, he probably should.
I don't know if you noticed this, Gyökeres was standing real close to Declan Rice because obviously Declan Rice picks up the ball to stop the Leeds United players kind of putting him off.
Yeah.
Obviously, that's a standard thing now in Premier League football. He gives it to Gyökeres. But Gyökeres, you could see it in his eyes. He was worried about Downman behind him being the one, I want to take the penalty. Seriously. So that says a lot about his confidence. Who would you start on the right then? Because look, Gyökeres is going to play down the middle now. I think there was a debate, ironically, that Havertz could have started this kind of game if he didn't have the injury.
Yeah.
Madueke on the left. I think he was okay against Leeds United. I'm not entirely sold. What about the right wing? I mean, is it Ethan Manieri on the right wing? Is it Eze?
Madueke, actually, his best performances for Chelsea, and I was impressed with him, were on that right-hand side.
Yeah, and Eze on the left maybe.
Yeah, and Eze on the left or playing in that half space. I don't think Saka actually injured, given the work. I mean, you know, Arsenal fans are banging on about the Madueke terrible. What a terrible signing! And I'm listening, going, that is not a terrible signing. That is a good signing. 52 million might be expensive, but then every player who's a decent Premier League player now seems to cost plus over 50 million.
It's the base price.
I know I said it earlier. Strand Larson, £50 million. It just, to me, just doesn't make sense, but that's what it is. So yeah, Madueke, I think, him on the right, and. No one can replace Saka. He is a sensational footballer, and when he gets the ball, I'm not saying anything that anybody doesn't know actually, but he gets the ball, something happens every single time. So you can't replace it, but they have the right profile of players to make this a completely balanced Arsenal team. And if I had to call it right now, I'd probably say Arsenal.
I agree. I think the back line, I think they're absolutely outstanding. I think Jurrien Timber getting a brace. Somehow someone on fantasy football, by the way, triple captain him, which is sick. I can't believe it. But Gabriel looks superb. David Raya, putting off unbelievable saves in the game as well. It's going to be very, very interesting. I think from Liverpool's perspective, it'll be intriguing to see what they do in terms of their defensive issues, who plays at right back against potentially Eze, against potentially someone like Madueke. That'll be very, very interesting.
What? So I spoke to a couple of Liverpool fans before this, because I know he was coming on here. And I think, because I wanted to find out from them. It's not one thing watching a game, but what have they seen? And I think it was like they're just trying. I think Arne Slot wants to have a different brand of football, more in keeping with his philosophy. Last year it was about, right, what do we have? How do I get the most out of this team? And then we transform into what Arne Slot's team is. And they bought a lot of players on very big money, and I just don't think it's quite clicked yet. On top of the fact that they've got one centre back who's had really, you can't achieve anything if one of your centre back half is not playing well. Everything starts from that, and you've got in the opposite end of Saliba and
Gabriel. Saliba.
So you can't go wrong with that. It's the best, arguably the best centre back pairing in Europe. So my point is that what we're seeing, this fragility in Liverpool, might not be as a bigger thing as we think if Konate or Gay comes in and fixes that left hand side.
Yeah, no, 100%. I think it's about Arsenal's mentality. They're more than good enough to win this game. I think Saka's a big miss. If Odegaard's out as well, then maybe Arteta reverts the type and tries to get a draw and keeps it really, really tight. Maybe something from a set piece. But hopefully with Eze, he just has this kind of performance away from home where he did it many times for Palace. Don't forget, Palace going away from home to these sides, he'd have to sit there. He'd have to sit there in a low block and do things in little moments. He's not going to have 65% possession with Crystal Palace. And with Arsenal, that might happen at Anfield if Liverpool got loaded the ball. I think Eze in little moments is just unbelievable as a footballer. He really is. He could be the difference against Liverpool.
He's all right, yeah.
Let's do some quick and early score predictions for the game. I'm going to go 2-1 Arsenal. I'm not even gassing. And Liverpool got more than enough quality to win this game. But this could be an early title decider. But I think Arsenal could win this game 2-1.
If it wasn't involving Arsenal, I'd be more excited about this game than any other. I just think it's primed to be a belter. And I'm going to say, I think Arsenal are going to win 3-1.
Oh, it's a big moment for them.
Yeah.
It's about how they approach this game.
God, they're going to be unbearable.
Even a draw. But Liverpool go to Newcastle. Things don't go right for them. They get the win.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? So Arsenal have to do something similar.
It's going to be fascinating at this stage. And can you imagine the Arsenal fans if they win? They're already banging on about them going to win the league after Leeds. If they go to Anfield and beat Liverpool...
Mate, they were gas. I was in a pub on Saturday. The whole pub was doing Viktor Gyökeres masks.
Oh, that's
the whole
pathetic.
pub.
That is honestly the most cringeworthy thing I've ever seen.
Seriously?
Is Arsenal fans running around like that?
Running about.
It's embarrassing. What are you, 8 years
These
old?
guys pay taxes. They're fully grown men.
Yeah, they can vote. They can go to war, these people, and they're running around with doing it.
Craziness.
It's an absolute joke, but not not something you're that surprised about by the Arsenal fan base, weirdly.